What is going? There's nobody in here yet, but what is going on? Hi, Charlotte. Wait, who's Charlotte? Hold on. Oh, hi. Hello. Welcome. How are you tonight? Hi, Brandy. Hi, Alan. Hey, Jay. I think I've only done a couple of these. These aren't like, I just felt guided to come on here and just say, what's up? How is everybody? Like, where are you guys at? Welcome to 2025. I'm a little late. It's May now. I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but your main focus, I don't know who needs to hear this. Kind of funny. But your main focus is creating safety within your body. Like, that's what's probably, I don't know who needs to hear that. Say something if it's you. That's why mastering detachment is like so important. Just like elaborate on this, but somebody asked me to talk about subconscious manifestation. Like, what kind of question is that? Everything is subconscious manifestation, majority of your experience. Maybe you mean, like, what do I mean by that? I just mean that I'm appearing because something you already subconsciously know wants to get your attention. So, what's everybody doing on their Friday night? Just hanging out on YouTube? What are we here to talk about? Like, I don't even know why I'm on here. I just felt guided to, like, come say hi and catch up. I don't know why I'm hearing something about Patty LaBelle. That is so random. What is that? There's got to be a reason why I'm on here. Normally, I probably look like my social studies teacher from 10th grade, like squinting at the screen. Coffee. Coffee in the car? You can't go wrong with that. This is so awkward. Why am I on here? This society, what the fuck? Okay. Sophie. I don't know, man. I'm one of those people. I literally. Is that like a TV show or like a movie or something? I don't know. I am so not hip. No, not hip. I have to admit it. I'm kind of like an old soul. I like old stuff. I don't know. All right, well, that's cool. I'm going to say that's probably compliments. I'll take it. Yo, you guys. So I don't know why, but I just feel like talking more about detachment. I feel like that's so important. Who has trouble with that? Kind of in this space where I'm kind of like done talking, like, I don't know. In my time being gone, I've died a little bit and been reborn, and kind of in that, I'm in this space where I'm not like trying to talk like, I don't know, like too spiritual. I really just want to be here to give you guys like practical advice that is spiritual wisdom integrated, basically. And like detachment, what I found in my own personal experience, and I'm a triple fix sign if we're going to talk about astrology, even though I don't really buy into that whole thing anymore, but I don't let go easy, man. And I'm a thinker. So detachment has always been kind of hard, but in my time away, I kept asking like my higher self to show me what detachment really looks like, because when you're detached, you're purely you're in pure presence mode because you're here and now. You're not attached to anything other than what is going on within this moment, right? So my higher self kept giving me this memory of, I was probably like 3 years old, and my dad, a wild dude. Like, I don't even know how he made it to 65, but he did. I have like two thumbs up for that guy, because miracle he lasted that long. But my higher self kept showing me this memory, right? I was 3, and my dad, he was taking us out on his speedboat. And this boat, it's like it's like the Joe Dirt of boats. Okay, so like think of Joe Dirt and then think of like a fast boat. That's what this boat was, right? And my dad was like a super balls to the wall kind of guy. He was like a race car driver, super addicted to adrenaline. It was bad. It was bad. Actually, I would probably say it was more like adventurous. But anyways, my dad took me and my big brother and my mom out on this boat. And he, what I would like to think, was maxing it out, which was quote unquote what most people would say probably pretty scary, because they think they're going to get hurt, or they think they're going to die, or they're thinking like worst case scenario, survival mode, right? But I'm 3. And at this point, I don't have an identity. I don't really have an attachment to the body. I have no real perception of like what death is, because I'm still like a blank slate at this point, right? We all are. Because that is your true self. And your true self is always detached. Like I was talking about in my most recent videos. So my dad's maxing the gears out, and I'm like begging him to go faster. I don't think the boat could have went faster, to be honest with you. And my brother, who is 6 years older than me, so he's like super programmed at this point, right? He's had fear pumped into him through every avenue at this point. And my dad, he let us watch whatever we wanted at whatever age. So we had Hollywood like instilled in us at a young age. So when your imagination's going wild, that can be bad. That could be bad. So anywho, back to the story. My brother, he is bawling his eyes out. He's like 9 years old, bawling, begging my dad to stop. And the whole reason I'm bringing this up is my higher self kept showing me that that is what detachment looks like. That's what self-mastery is. And that is when you become the most in tune with your truest essence, your truest frequency, your most authentic self. And in that, you create your most authentic expression in your reality. And that's really what you're here to learn to do, is to become sovereign, to be self-mastered. And that comes with detachment. And it's like, be like a child. That's why you hear that so often. But yeah, I know. It's like so much easier said than done once your like nervous system has been pumped full of fear and like all these experiences that say otherwise. I totally get it. Oh, I can't. I think my eyes are going. No, I'm not going to declare that. Hold on. I don't know. I can't. To knock to lesson 33. I don't know if I said. I probably butchered that. So sorry, dude. Um, I think that you're giving it too much thought, and I think that maybe trying to not understand it, not try to figure it out, and just open up yourself, like surrender to those thoughts. I think that you're trying to understand something that isn't to be understood, it's to be understood. It's something that's going to reveal itself, and maybe you're not meant to experience that. But if that's something you wish to understand, then just allow that information to find you. I'll tell you what, guys, before I ever was involved in any spiritual communities or anything like this, okay, thank you, COVID. Thanks. That's what I got from it. And I love it. Like, on so many levels, it's given me, like, the opportunity to, like, connect with all of you amazing people, right? But I'll tell you what, something I found is I was way more knowledgeable, way more tapped into truth when I was not trying to find the answers. See, the answers, like the questions weren't there because I would just allow information to find me. So try not to understand things. Just try to allow things to just be, and to look through the lens of the truth of what you are, which is perfection in all forms. Like, you are like nature in human form. Okay? Like, there's no way to understand that or perfect that or anything. So, I don't know. I would just allow. See, this isn't a thinking process, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't search, because when you're searching for something, you're chasing for something. When you're chasing for something, you're saying, I don't have, or I don't know. And I promise you that you do know, because before I knew anything about any actual concepts, I already had the wisdom and understanding and knowledge. And that's the same for you. Like, nobody's special here on this planet. Everybody has equal access. So what I'm getting at is, the looking for the answers and the needing to know is actually the very thing that is keeping you from that fulfillment. Understanding that, like, your desire to know is already fulfilled the moment that you desire to know. It's not a separate thing. So if you could just let go and understand that it's inevitable for that, those answers or that understanding to come to you, then I don't know. I just think it'll be easier for you. And I say that from personal experience. I'm an Aquarius, dude. So I think I'm a thinker. I think, and I think until thinking is not a thinking thing anymore. Yeah, I think. I'm a little bit better now, but I used to be, oof, bad. Okay, what? I feel like I like need this font to be bigger. How do I do that? You guys, I have like senioritis when it comes to technology. Oh, I know. You've been asking me about my Oracle decks. Email me. We'll talk about it. I'll respond about it this time, I promise. Let's see here. So, Now for whatever reason, let's see here. So guys, I'm just, I'm over here just scrolling. Hi to anybody who has come in, but after I said hello. I don't know who needs to hear this right now. I really can't read these guys, so you know what? I'm just gonna go with the flow. I really feel bad because it's supposed to be like a shindig, which means like I talk, you talk. But man, this is little ass writing. I'm not even like, can I make it bigger? Where's my glasses? I actually don't have glasses, so that's not gonna work. How do you deal with conflicts between the heart and the mind? Well, I understand that any conflict is coming from a misidentification or a misinterpretation of what it is that I'm perceiving within my reality. Because I understand that everything outside of me is just symbolic to something within me. And if I don't understand what's going on outside of me, that means there's something that I'm not aware of within me. So when conflicts come up, I really evaluate and ask myself, what would my highest self, or what would my goddess self, what would love have to say about this? How would love feel about this? How would love perceive? And see, I'm one of those people who really puts myself in like everybody's shoes when I see something, and I try to approach things from a very non-biased thing. So anytime there's conflict, you have to understand you're coming from a place of lack, which is automatically an illusion, which is why I personally ask myself, what would love have to say about this? What would my most loving, most joyful, most creative, most aligned self have to say about this? I zoom out a lot of the time, if that makes sense. Because you have to understand, anything that is creating like any discordant energy within you it's your subconscious mind trying to make you aware of something that you are believing in that is out of alignment with your truth, with who you truly are, what you truly are. It's not even a who, it is a what you truly are, which is its bliss and it's infinite in nature. So anything creating discordant energy, it's automatically, hands down, you don't need to dig. That's the thing. I had to learn that one the hard way. You don't really need to dig. You just need to understand that it's coming up so you can feel it and allow it to be relieved of the nervous system, like out of the body. So the nervous system is no longer sending the signal from the subconscious mind that that belief is in place. I don't believe that you actually have to dig. I used to be a digger, and then I was like, dude, this makes no sense. I'm like focusing on all the bullshit, and I know bullshit breeds more bullshit. So what am I doing here? So yeah, I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I hope I answered the question. Hey, you guys, I don't know why I'm feeling guided to share this, but you know that affirmation? Have you ever heard that affirmation? And I'm hearing that this would like work for. I'm actually gonna try this. I haven't tried this, but for whatever reason, I'm like, I don't know. I'm picking this up. Have you ever, that "Isn't it wonderful"? Have you ever heard "Isn't it wonderful"? I'm hearing to start asking yourself, doesn't it feel wonderful that I am at peace and am embodying freedom? Or doesn't it feel wonderful? Doesn't it feel safe? Or doesn't it feel this? I'm hearing to start asking yourself, because it will help you get rid of old belief systems that are being, it'll help you reprogram basically. like bypassing the barrier between the conscious and the subconscious. Mm-mm-mm. How do I stop digging? I came to this realization is that like when you go looking for shit, you're always gonna find shit. If you're always looking for something to heal, you're always gonna find something. And I just made a decision one day and just had this realization that sovereignty, like self mastery, all this, whatever it is that we're like seeking, or what I was seeking, it's really just peace and freedom. That's all we're all really looking for. All these other things that we think we want, it's because we think it's like going to give us peace and freedom. So, nonetheless, to answer your question, the way that I stopped digging was realizing that right now I'm already complete and whole, and that by digging, I'm literally choosing to be the person who's incomplete, who's not enough. And I just decided one day, actually, I'm way more than enough, and there's nothing I need to fix. So why am I going to waste my precious energy on digging up shit that doesn't even exist? Because you have to understand, like, we have right now, literally, there's right now. And every given moment, you are brand new. You are a clean slate. But you choose to identify with things from the past. And digging is always just digging up shit from the past. So when you're spending your awareness, your attention, uh, your the only thing that really has any value in this world is your attention. So when you're spending it on digging, does that make sense? I don't know. I feel like I didn't complete that sentence, but I kind of lost my train of thought there. Exactly. It's already available to you. You just have to choose that you're already enough. Because it's literally a delusion when you're thinking of the past. You're just imagining that into the future. But do understand that if you keep remembering something, it's literally just trying to make you aware of a root cause of a belief that was created that is creating a barrier. Something that you just need to let go of. So also understand that about like memories. But everything is just a memory because we're right here and now. And that's all that there is. And anything in the future or the past, that's all just an imagination at this point. It's not actually tangibly real. So, okay. I'm so sorry I can't read your name, but I did manage to read the ringing in the ear thing. Um, well, if it's not tinnitus, okay, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. If you haven't, and I'm not here promoting doctors, but I'm also not a doctor. I can give like advice about that kind of thing. But what I'll say from my own personal experience with ear ringing, I have literally had psychic experiences where I have gotten, so anytime I get any kind of sensation on my left side, I know that I'm connecting to a spirit of some sort, or yeah, some kind of consciousness that's not within a body, like tapping into mediumship. But I've literally had ringing in the ears and gotten a download. But that's what I usually find is you're receiving some kind of information, and in that moment, what I suggest you to do is to take a deep breath and become very present within the breath. And when I say breath, I mean like into the diaphragm, like expanding the stomach. So you can become really present and aware of the thoughts coming in. Because odds are you're going to receive some kind of random thought. We're always communicated with through thought. So hopefully that helps. Where am I at? I'm not, I don't know what you mean by that, man. What do you mean, where am I at? Okay, let's see. But anywho, guys, anybody else wanna, anything anybody wants to talk about? I'm on here to just hang out with you guys. Here to be a helpful pal. Aw, thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you, Spellbound Tarot. I'll talk to you. I'll be waiting for your email. Okay, okay. The twin flame thing. Okay. I'm not saying it's not real because it is very real, especially if you believe in it. It's very real, and I know because of my own experience, but it's not always what you think that it is, first and foremost. But they're just the doorway to understanding that everything and everyone is a mirror to you, that there is nothing that is outside of you or separate from you. They are just the catalyst to set you into that. And I'm not saying that, twin flames aren't meant to be together and whatever, but there's different dynamics and everybody's situation is different. Understand that any kind of relationship that you're viewing from like a romantic perspective, you have to understand that it's reflecting the relationship that you have with yourself. And if there are things that are painful, causing suffering, separation, despair, lack of love, all these things, they're telling you something about how you need to be giving to yourself. And also, what I found on my own journey with that, okay, is that it really woke me up. And I mean, I woke up like years before this, that to the very limiting construct of society that society has placed on relationships and the very toxic codependent nature that people define that kind of relationship. What I found with the twin flame journey is it's the catalyst to bring all that up to the forefront so that you can see it all for the bullshit that it really is. I mean, that's just my perspective, like agree or disagree. I mean, it is what it is. Sorry, guys. Apparently, I have notifications. If you guys hear Rod Stewart, I'm so sorry. Or not. Maybe you like that. Okay. Let's see. Advice for heartbreak. I don't have any advice. No, I don't have advice for that. But what I would say is that understanding that the nature of reality is transient and fluid in nature, and that nothing is meant to ever stay the same. So like heartbreak is looking at things like the glass half, what do they say, the glass half empty instead of the glass half full. And it's kind of like overlooking all the beautiful things that you had gained, and that understanding that relationships, they're mirrors into the things that we love, admire, or despise about ourselves secretly or consciously. But people, they often mirror what we're unconscious of, especially if it's creating some kind of illusory feeling of separation or suffering. Can we win the lotto with the power? I don't know. Can you? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. I can't tell you what's possible for you. Look, asking me from your perspective, this is your world and I'm just living in it right now. So you tell me, can you? Will you? Have you? Are you giving yourself permission? But this is the thing you have to understand. You are the lotto. Do you understand? You are literally the source of every single dollar that you've ever received, ever earned, ever been given, ever found, ever won, ever, period. You are the source of it. You and only you. Which means you are the source of that lotto. So you tell me, can you? Can you? Will you? Have you? But you don't need the lotto. Let me tell you that much. I will say this. Not saying you can't, but you are so limiting yourself if you are depending on the lotto to be your golden ticket to the chocolate factory. You're limiting yourself. You have to understand that there is no process. There is no real logic to anything in this world. You've just been fooled into believing that everything is logical. And that's what you're transcending through this journey of remembering that there is only joy, there is only abundance, there is only love, there is only creation itself. And that is just the natural state of being. So I'll say, yes, you can win the lotto, but that's up to you, my friend. Usually when well, what do you mean by ego desires? Like, I kind of get what you're saying, Matthew. I kind of get what you're saying. But you have to understand that you're creating separation when you say that. All desires are God's desires or your God self's desires. Otherwise, you wouldn't desire it. You just get to choose what it is that you desire. So I don't really know what you mean by ego desires, but it sounds like you're creating separation, or what's really going on here is that you actually feel some kind of shame, guilt, or limitation when it comes to actually obtaining what it is that you desire. If you're desiring to experience something, just allow yourself. You see, you're like judging your desire. You're saying, ooh, one's good, one's bad. And the whole point of this journey is to realize that that is the illusion, that it is what you say it is. So if you mean by ego desire, negative desire, not good desire, I don't know what you mean. There is no such thing in my world. I guess maybe at one point, yeah. I will say I have had experiences where I thought I desired something, and then I manifested it, and then I started to experience it, and I realized very quick that that was more of like an old version of me, old belief systems just showing themselves to me, kind of like masked under, I don't know if this makes sense, but I have thought that I wanted something and then manifested it and then realized that I did not want that. That it was actually just a manifestation of lack, limitation, and separation. Like kind of like settling, right? Like settling for less than what it was that I truly desire. If that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Desire to cheat. Okay, well, you need to ask yourself, what is there to cheat? Who is it that you're cheating? What is it that you're cheating? Because look, man, at the end of the day, you feel like you're cheating yourself in some way, shape, or form, or you feel cheated, or both. Everything is you, honey. So if you feel like you're cheating or want to cheat, you have to ask yourself why. Why am I desiring this? Like, where is this coming from? Because obviously you don't. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm no good there. I tried. Gave it my best shot. Enlightenment. What are people? It's really silly, guys. Enlightenment. I know it's really so silly. It's just remembering. It's just the process of remembering all is one thing. All is light just emanating. All is one with all. There is no separation. What is enlightenment? I don't know. I think that it's just became very spiritual community has really distorted things, and I know. And I've probably helped with that. So my apologies. I really had good intentions. Let's see. How do you stop judging your desires? Okay, detachment. Once again, the judging you is not the true, real you. The real you is completely neutral, 0 point, whatever you want to call it. It's completely non judgmental. It doesn't view things through the lens of separation. It doesn't have judgments. It doesn't see things like that. So understand, like, the judging you, the overthinking you, the critical part of you, the logical part of you, that's not you. It's just a collection of a bunch of other things that you've picked up along your journey. Stories, beliefs, projections, all sorts of stuff. But you have to understand, you've been taught backwards about how reality works. You've been taught to mirror back what reality is showing you, when in all actuality, reality has only been mirroring to you who you are being. So it's only been reflecting. So understand that your desires are your desires for a reason. Those are things you're receiving those because they're meant to happen, because they've already become a possibility. You're think of it this way, because there is only now, you are remembering that happened. And I've actually had that experience. I have, like, when people prophesize things, it's because they're actually just tapping into the quantum field and they're remembering a certain possibility. And because they believe so much into it, it does create, manifest. What time is it? All right, I got a few more minutes on here. Sorry guys, I got silent. I'm over here like super focused in. And if you like if you knew me better, you would know, like, focus, that that takes that takes some dedication for me to do. Okay. How do I remain in alignment with that self that knows it's done? Is by understanding that there is only now, and also understanding that everything I do is in alignment, because my decision is divine authority over all action, over all cause and effect, over all emotion, over all thought, over everything. When you realize that you are divine perfection, you understand that you cannot make a mistake. You'll understand that everything up until this moment was perfect. It was never a mistake. It was never coincidence. Coincidence, mistake, it's basically the same thing. So I would say understanding that your decision it's done. Think about it. Your whole life, and I'm soon going to make a video about my NDE so that I can kind of further elaborate on this, but think about this. You have always been knowing everything into existence. You've always been knowing things before you actually experience it. Always. It's just now that you are becoming aware that nothing was coming from out there, that it was all coming from within here. So, where am I going with this? When you've known things in the past, you didn't have to sit there and try and know them into experience. Knowing and deciding are the same thing. Like once you decide, you have now created that a knowing, because you understand that you are the one and only source of what it is that you're experiencing. So that decision trumps anything. Hopefully that makes sense, because you're literally the source of it. Never really got into Abraham Hicks. I stumbled on Bashar about, I don't know, I think like a year and a half ago, and I love Bashar. Love Bashar. He makes me laugh. Daryl Anka's pretty cool too himself. No, it really is true. You will laugh at how simple everything really is. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're thinking too much, and just open your heart and know that whatever you desire is given. Period. Because if you desired it, it's already done. It's already been created. That's the proof. It's literally everything is just the decision and then sticking to it. And knowing, I see a lot of people get caught up in delay. Myself, I struggle with that for a while too. And sometimes I do with some certain things, but not getting caught up in delay. Like, understand that there is literally only now. So the moment that you accept that it's done is the moment that you can receive it. Like, understanding that now there is nothing stopping whatever it is that you're trying to create. It's only you stopping it. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I feel honored to connect with you guys tonight. I love you all. Have a wonderful night, guys. Mwah. Bye.